Hey guys, I wanted to have a wee bit of fun. Basically, I took myself down a little rabbit hole just thinking about. I was just watching TV and matches and stuff like that, and I started thinking, wouldn't it be fun to think about what kind of players Newcastle may be trying to buy over the next year or two? So thought I'd have a little bit of fun with it. Let me know in the description down below. So what I've kind of missed out in this, right? Is any kind of domestic transfers you think they might do? So what I'm kind of trying to put myself in the mind frame of is like back when Man City get taken over. Also, I was quite close to that, so I can kind of remember the kind of steps that went through, and obviously that kind of model has been very successful for them. So, guys like who would be the Gareth Barry and the James Milner that would go pick up those types of guys? Do they maybe have them already with like the Joe Willocks? And Jamal Lascelles, these types of guys, I don't know. So any domestic Premier League transfers that you reckon that they could pull off, maybe somebody who's out the team who would do a job, or someone who they could maybe go and snap up for big money. Drop them in the comment section down below and let me know. I hope you have fun with this one, guys. There's a great video dropping tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit notifications, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, let's get stuck into it. So I started off on this little rabbit hole because basically I was just listening to stuff about the takeover and everything, and I was just thinking about, like if you were to walk in football manager style and you had that ability to just go and basically build another team, kind of look at what City have done previously, look at what Chelsea have done previously, just look at different even iterations of Man United over the years as well, how they go about constructing their team. We can maybe have some fun. Now, I play Sorare fantasy football. Most of you guys will be aware of that already, I'm sure. So a lot of the basis for the decision making kind of has that in mind, and we have some really, really good fun kind of looking into this. So this would be the kind of basic template. I would start with the existing squad. Now, I've not watched Newcastle this season, just from match of the day here and there on a few occasions, and I know this isn't the way they're really playing, okay, but you've got to think they'll have a new manager coming in who will be moving away from the Rafa, the Steve Bruce kind of formation and design. They've got money to spend now. They can go and get, for me, the key positions is left back and centre defensive midfield. From looking at it on paper and from looking at the Y Scout season report thus far, in terms of positions and stats and all that kind of thing, I think you can get away with most of the defence if you kind of strengthen around a few areas, give them a bit of confidence, go get some firepower anyway. So the first player I would be looking to bring in to play left back would be Owen Wijndal. Now, all these statistics come to us courtesy of Sorare data, probably the best kept secret in football statistics and analysis, all that kind of stuff. But the current form that Owen Wijndal is in at the moment, some similar players to him at the moment, there's a lot of household names, the good and the great of European football. So he's a very exciting fullback. He gets assists often enough for being in the Dutch league, but it's more his overall play. He's starting to break into the Holland national team as well, and at the age of 21, he's already made over 140 senior appearances, professionally between AZ and Jong AZ, which is like they play in the tier below the Eredivisie. 141 appearances, 17 assists, so the guy comes with a lot of good pedigree, and even though he's young, he's not exactly wet behind the ears. Wijndal's limited cards at the moment go for, I don't know, I suppose about 100, 120 quid if you want to go buy one off the secondary market, about 140 quid or so, and it's definitely one of the most exciting fullback defenders in Europe, definitely. If you are watching this and you haven't even opened your Sorare account yet, the link in the description down below entitles you to a free card once you've bought 5 from the market. It's the way everyone starts Sorare. Everyone wants to get as much free stuff as possible to give themselves a jump start on the platform to get ahead of the game as quickly as possible. And if you open your account without a free card, you're definitely behind the 8 ball compared to the rest of the competition out there. Link in the description down below. Let Sorare know I've sent you, and you get a free card to get you up and running and get you competing in a level playing field with everyone else out there. In CDM, I think quietly the best CDM in Europe who's outside any of the elite clubs is probably Wilmer Barrios, 28-year-old Colombian international. Currently at Zenit St. Petersburg, played Champions League this week, so if you watch Champions League, you'll probably have caught little bits of him. Very similar players we've got to Wilmer. Again, we have some of the good and great of the top end of European football here. A lot of the statistics that they'll be comparable to, especially for guys like Parejo and Tielemans, will be their dual success as well as things like their passing. long pass ratios, interceptions, that kind of thing. But and then when they're compared to guys like Kostic, maybe a Milinkovic-Savic, it's just a bit more that kind of final third passing, that kind of thing. So a lot of these statistics that marry up with some of these guys will be in different elements of his match. Nice to see De Bruyne there. But this guy's definitely a ball-winning defensive midfielder. And for me, I say outside the most elite clubs in Europe, I think he's one of the best ones out there. And if you're coming in with a wad of money, at 28 years of age as well, you've got a little bit of a safer bet on your hands in terms of transition period, that type of thing. And his limited card can be picked up for basically like 60 quid or so, maybe 40 quid on auction. If you're lucky, nobody's watching it. Yeah, quite a cheap little guy as well. The next midfielder, I would want to be picking up some sort of marquee player. Now, since moving to Lazio, formerly of Liverpool, this guy has been consistently top of statistical charts for midfielders across Europe. At the moment, unfortunately, his minutes have dried up and he is currently the victim of Sarri ball. But that is none other than Luis Alberto. Now, quite publicly, he's available for transfer for about 50 million or so. And when this guy does play, and he is in a team that he's allowed to play his role in, he can be a very effective creative midfielder. He used to be in England, of course, as I mentioned, formerly of Liverpool's Premier League experience is not notable, of course, but again, you would hope that that would maybe add to the ease of the kind of settling in period as such. Now, because he's at Lazio at the moment, his limiteds are a little bit different. They only come in bundles, so you can do very well out of bundles as long as you kind of make sure the composition of the bundle is economic for you. Otherwise, if you just want to go pick up a Luis Alberto singular, you can do that for probably around 120, as you can see here, about £130 on the secondary market. But his price will be suppressed at the moment because his minutes are all over the place and he's not really a Sarri ball player, you know. Talking about marquee signings, probably one of the hottest prospects in European football at the moment is Noah Lang. So, you know, Callum Wilson's cool, Almiron, St Maximin, all cool, but you know, when you're spending money, you want to go and get that marquee name that's going to really represent the new birth of the club, you know, the exciting talent. I'm thinking about like the Aguero, the Balotelli, you know, these types of marquee signings that you look to bring in, like the Drogba, you know, the big up-and-coming talents. And the similar players to Noah Lang across European football is the good and, I mean, the great. So Mbappe, Haaland, Ronaldo, Muller, you know, his scores are up there with the absolute best in European football. He is in the Belgian league, but he's also playing Champions League as well. And he's starting to break into the Dutch national team. Amin Gouiri could equally be is just a credible candidate in terms of likelihood also as our boy here, Lang. But Lang is definitely one that you would want to have your eyes on 100%. When I watch Noah Lang, I'm very much reminded, I said this recently, of like Eden Hazard, you know, that type of player. Formerly of Ajax, again similar to Wijndal, already over 100 senior appearances to his name at the age of 21, registering 35 goals and 22 assists. The guy just looks absolutely amazing. When we look at his national team, again, he's starting to break into the senior team after basically working all the way through all the youth systems, just making a meteoric rise through basically Dutch football. Because he is so young and his career does look so bright, even his limited cards at the moment are still going for a pretty penny. So you're talking in excess of £400 quite comfortably. But this is a guy with a bright, bright future. And if Newcastle are going to be putting chips on the table, this is definitely a guy that has to be in the conversations of the scouting department. No two ways about it. Now, like I mentioned at the very tip-off of the video, I do think the defence is a real area that needs strengthened if they're going to, like, obviously the first objective for Newcastle is going to be staying in the division this season. But if they really do want to kick on and really try and join that top 10, which it very much feels like it's became of like the upper teams, you know, that should be fighting and competing in every match on as many fronts as possible, the defence is one that really needs strengthened up. And I think the best central defender out there in European football you can get your hands on at the moment, most likely, would be somebody like Sven Botman. He is currently injured at the moment. This is maybe a summer transfer or something like that. Again, breaking into the Dutch national setup, so there's a bit of a theme with a wee bit of the Dutch. I really think Dutch football is kind of coming on again after a wee bit it been derelict for about 10 years or so. You know, they missed the World Cup and all the rest of it. But Sven Botman, again, over the last kind of 40 matches, his scores are up there with the best centre-backs in European football, guys like Milan Skriniar, who could also be a very worthwhile candidate for this as well. If Sven Botman's injury did persist or he didn't really return to form, that kind of thing. Same with Matthias Ginter, Jose Jimenez, very credible guys out there you could probably see showing up in Newcastle if the price was right. Ruben Diaz, Lucas Hernandez, you know, the best kind of guys up there in European football. I don't see Van Dijk here, and Van Dijk's probably the best. Boubacar Kamara, again, would be another worthwhile consideration, maybe even for that CDM position. And we put Wilmer Barrios in. Philip Lionheart is a very good player. I really like his name. It's spelled like that, but it's said Lionheart, which is cool. And yeah, nothing else too spectacular here. But Sven Botman won the league with Lille last year. Huge defender, gets powerful scores, very confident on the ball. Again, out of the Ajax Academy. And for the ages that, again, his appearances are just incredible. I can't stress this enough, right? But being under 23 and having over 100 senior appearances, the line share of them for Botman have been senior division, for Heerenveen on loan from Ajax, and with Lille first full season in that league winning it. This season already he's got a goal in the league, which is nice. Had to maybe add a few more goals to his domestic game. I'm pretty sure he did pick up some goals last season. Maybe his scores were just that good. It looked like it was scoring goals. Maybe that's what it is. Again, very present throughout the Dutch youth system over the last couple of years. Bearing in mind when we're looking at the national team records, the COVID years have been in amongst this as well. Because of his injury, his limited cards are actually, for somebody like him, I would say certainly anyway, fairly modest in price. About 100 quid you can get a Sven Botman. It's only a groin injury he's picked up, so typically those things aren't too troublesome as long as it doesn't return. But yeah, young defender already, a top 5 division in Europe, league winner, to his name. And with the World Cup in Qatar coming this year, this guy's definitely going to be on the transfer list for a lot of big clubs across Europe in the summer. Now, Dubravka is coming back from a big injury. He is 32, which for a goalkeeper is fine. Now, I think a goalkeeper will be on the shopping list at some point. An honourable mention I would maybe make would be Keylor Navas, just because of this whole situation with PSG. He is an elite goalkeeper. And, being from the CONCACAF region, being in the Premier League, even though he is already a legend for winning 4 Champions Leagues at Real Madrid, I think that's something he would want for his profile for when he finishes football to have played in the Premier. So I wouldn't be surprised if Navas ever rocked up in Newcastle. That might sound strange, it probably won't happen, but wouldn't be surprised. But who I would realistically be looking at if I was Newcastle would be a boy by the name of Matvey Safonov. Again, very close to hitting on 100 appearances being U23, which for a goalkeeper is incredible, because goalkeepers, like I was saying with Dubravka, go on to playing into their 30s very comfortably. Now, Safonov, if you're not aware, is the new Russian #1 goalkeeper, and he is like the hottest prospect young goalkeeper across Europe easily. His saving percentages are amazing. He's great with penalties. He's just very confident, very, very assured. And I say already, even been at an unfancied club like Krasnodar, he's and Krasnodar are okay, don't get me wrong, but he's made himself, it looks like now, the new Russia #1. Goalkeepers on sorare are expensive because there's just less of them by virtue of football. There is only 1 per team. So as far as under 23 goalkeepers go in particular, and with how bright this guy's future looks, getting a goalkeeper like that for under £400 could be economic for you for the game. Of course it could. And again, if he was to move to Newcastle and play every week, he then becomes a champion Euro goalkeeper, which, a champion Euro goalkeeper who, is U23 for the rest, this season and next season, so that will be very good for SO5, no doubt. Now, the last 2 cards to complete the 11 are cards I currently own, and maybe I'm a wee bit selfish with thinking about both these guys, but equally, I would put them into this team. I could see them doing a job, and yeah. The first one, maybe a surprise to you, is Kieran Trippier. Now, he seems to be out of contract at the end of the season. He's heavily linked to Man United. I believe he is a Manchester boy, so moving to the north of England won't faze him, won't be something that, he would, he should be comfortable. Should be a comfortable move for him to make. Having just won the league at Atletico Madrid, he's favoured by Simeone, and if Simeone likes you, you are a good defender. That's just the end of the story. This season, it started off kind of stuttery for him, but I say winning the league last year, you get tons of Premier League experience coming out his backside, over 340 appearances, 28 assists for a right back, which is good, and that's been a kind of upward trajectory as his career is continued to grow. In the Champions League and a wee bit of Europa League, he's got 40 appearances, so he's a top end guy. I know he's 31, touching on 32, or just turned 31, I beg your pardon. But you can get another season or 2 out of him, and for what Newcastle are looking to become over the next season or 2, I think this guy, for potentially a free transfer, could be a very good right back. No 2 ways about it. Good from set pieces as well. English international at the moment, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually have any limited cards available. It's only rares, but the price of these rares are quite commensurate with some of the limited cards we were looking at earlier. So when you balance up some more powerful card, even though he's older, he's in Champion Europe, he should really be moving to the Premier League after he leaves Atletico Madrid. I don't think that's really in question. And why not Newcastle? And the star striker I'd go and pick up over the summer would be Darwin Núñez. Now, I've been watching Darwin Núñez for the last like kind of season and a bit, whenever I've had the opportunity to. And this guy's a really exciting striker. He does have a wee bit of a sketchy injury record, which is his only real concern. But he works so hard off the ball. He's very much a modern day like centre forward. He can do all that job that you want him to do. Link up with play. He can drop deep. He's big and strong. You know, he can carry the ball up the pitch. He's already scored this season in the Champions League against Bayern Munich and Barcelona, making a name for himself. He was linked to Brighton, he was linked to Man City as well. He's been linked to a few different places, and it's not quite materialised for him yet, because of that kind of injury record, as I was explaining. But Benfica paid like 30 million, 25 million for him to replace João Felix after he moved to Atletico Madrid. And as you can see here, yeah, he's just had a couple of niggly injuries, kind of keep him out for spells and kind of disrupt his form and his playing pattern. But when he is fit and firing, like he's an elite caliber striker. There's no two ways about it. His limited cards at the moment, let's just check by lowest price. Sorry, his limited cards I think are going to be quite modest, because he is kind of starting from the bench on occasion, because Benfica are so dominant in their league that even when he is fully fit, he's not necessarily guaranteed to play. They can really do what they want fixture wise to accommodate Champions League football, cup competitions, weak fixtures, hard fixtures, that kind of thing. But even at that, if you're to buy him direct from the secondary market, you can look at picking a guy up like this for 150 quid basically, on auction, probably a nice bit cheaper, maybe even as much as 2/3 of that, if you catch it at the right time. But yeah, Darwin Núñez would be my key striker I would go and pick up. So guys, here is my team. What do you think of it? So this is what I'd be going for over the next kind of 2 transfer windows, maybe 3 at a push. Try and build Newcastle into something a bit more exciting, spend that money with a bit of joy. Who knows if all this is even possible, but I just wanted to have a bit of fun thinking about it and kind of thinking, oh well, what if that happened, if this kind of manager came in, what kind of centre back might they want, that, you know, whatever. And I just thought, why not just make a wee video and have some fun with it. So again guys, like I said at the tip off, let me know in the comment section down below any domestic, any Premier League transfers that I've overlooked that are obvious, it would definitely complement the Newcastle side at the moment. Maybe they'd even fit into this team that I've built. Let me know. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.